Hello everybody, and welcome to another deck choice video. This one for week 33. This is a repeat of a week in early May of this year. We're gonna go actually through this real quick. And just point out what we picked previously and if we think that that's going to change. So previously, most of the coalition picked AQR to deal with the range, mostly. BHK was the choice. Barbrady was the choice. Mysterion, Warboy, Purify here, Belf here, Powerbind here. This one depended on the team, but it was SWOW for the main team. Fast Pass, Cows, and Gizmo. So, looking at it right away, there wouldn't be too much that I would change. One thing that I would mention is that Shelly kind of proved herself in a recent Team Wars as being a pretty good unit, an actual sort of okay cow counter. Survives the power bind, or sorry, the poisons. Can be if you play it wrong, can get a lot of energy. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if we see more Shelly because of that. But I think the reason that a lot of people ran with the BHK, even though he could get poisoned and kill, was because they run the Purify. Then if you run Shelly, you could probably run Poison. That's what I would say. If you run Shelly, run Poison, because then you don't really need to purify anything unless you're trying to purify the AQR would also be an option. I guess you could purify in a pinch Marine Craig, but Belf is probably going to always be the choice. Cows are better than that. So yeah, I kind of think if you go Shelly, you could go Poison. But if you go BHK, probably go Purify, because you want to keep BHK alive. You don't want to lose that value. So would Nelly be worth it to deal with the Gizmos? I mean, honestly, Gizmos kind of get dealt with by the cows. If you play it right, they'll just stampede right over them. So maybe we don't have to worry about the Gizmo. The AQR, the backline that it could deal with would be Warboy, Belf, BHK. Does damage to everybody else that's alive. I mean, it's not terrible. But I could see Nelly for 4 costs dealing with the Gizmos. But the question would be, does it deal with the Gizmos? If she hits them and doesn't one-shot them and knocks them back and they just get another spawn, then she's probably just going to get overrun, right? So that might require some testing to decide on. BHK versus Shelly. I think I personally would want... Honestly, the BHK with the Warboy can just get so much value so fast. And if you play them close together so that you can purify them both if they get poisoned, I mean, there's really nothing they can do. I like that. Barbrady is clearly the choice. PC Principal isn't going to help. More likely, PC Principal is going to push back Gizmo into making an army. Mysterion is the choice. If you get him out early, there's no way to deal with him. Definitely impactful. Warboy is the choice. That speed boost is just so good. Wonder Tweak could be okay. Maybe bring everybody into the Fast Pass or the Poison or the Rogue token or something like that. But in general, Mysterion wins Team Wars. So, in general, the speed boost wins Team Wars. Not one. I was looking at the top one. But yeah, definitely Mysterion. Inuit doesn't really have any great targets. I guess maybe SWOW for him, but you're just as likely to get poisoned and not kill anybody, so I think Mysterion's more guaranteed value. Purify versus Poison, I think that depends on this choice, like I was saying. Purify's probably going to be more common, though. Here, Powerbind over Super Fart. Your goal for the Powerbind would be to power bind, probably the fast pass or the gizmos. Probably the gizmo would be the best because gizmo is kind of bullshit. Because he can survive he can survive the bar in team wars, and that can be really impactful. Ugh. Wait. Hold on. Sorry about that. My microphone was being all weird. Okay. So, hopefully that probably sounds really drastically different. That'll be funny. Okay, so we were looking at the power bind. So yeah, power bind is just gonna have a couple applications where super fart just has none. Belf is gonna be the choice. Could clean up some gizmos, get a bunch of damage. Longer range on the BHK, so the BHK is not going to be an issue. So there's a lot of good stuff from the Belf, and just getting her stacked and surviving New Kid could be good. This one, I think, depends on your levels. If you have SWOW levels, I think SWOW is the choice. Although, if you have Future Randy levels now, the cows can actually be pretty countered by the Future Randy. But I think in this setup and the way things work, the tiny little extra damage that SWOW can do with her ability can potentially make poisons actually kill stuff. So, but then the Future Randy heal can counter that. So I think it's an interesting toss up, and it might just depend on the levels of your team, which one has better levels overall. Because I think if you have SWOW leveled, it's probably better. But a lower level Future Randy does his job, even if it's just like, there's 4 seconds left, you have 1 bar, but they're about to 3 bar you with cows. You use Future Randy, push him back, then you laugh. That kind of thing. So that's an interesting choice, mostly going to be decided by your team. Fast Pass versus Rogue. I mean, Rogue can kill the gizmos and stuff, but if you purify him, it's no big deal. Fast Pass just has so much application. He can chunk people in the back line, get damage on New Kid, does pretty well against defending cows when he hits all 3 of them with his ability, and can help pick off stuff with that got poisoned by something else, and kill the backline. So that's really good. Gizmo's the choice. He's just so good. Even if you power bind him, I feel like it's still pretty good because he's a 1-cost assassin that they still have to probably play a card to deal with. So it's not the end of the world if that happens. But just the potential that you can get from him, I think, is worth it. Choir Boy, 2-cost is kind of nice to have that 2-cost, but there's not a huge benefit from that. If it was Hermes versus Gizmo, maybe you could think about it, but because that extra energy can be impactful. But I think the Gizmo is still the choice either way, because even if they use Rogue Token on him, that's still 4 for 3, and you still probably hit the Rogue Token a couple times. So, and if you have enough gizmos, you can kill the Rogue Token before they kill him. So, definitely impactful, and especially if they're speed boosted. And then the cows are the choice here because the Alien Clyde is interesting now, but it's still random, right? So the cows are going to be very good. They can get countered a little bit by a few things, such as the Future Randy. But in general, they're always going to do a little bit of damage. And with cow weeks, we've always described the cow weeks as you probably want to not try to defend the bar necessarily, but set up the counter push. You'll see me all the time where I deal with the cows. They take 1 bar. You're mostly just preventing them from getting 2 and preventing them from dealing with anything that you're putting out with the Stampede, and then just build the counter push off that. So here is our stat, courtesy of the Pirate Coalition. Shout out to those guys for putting this stuff together. The most important thing here is to note some of the damage markers: 202, 220 from the Wonder Tweak. Poison marks what it will kill at a high level. So if you have level 7 poison, it'll kill all these targets. The difference is 130 here, so that's kind of big. You can see here how much damage the Marine Craig does, Alien Clyde, all that kind of stuff, right? And then if you're wondering what these numbers are, it's health, attack, and then the third one is DPS. The speed impacts the choice for tanks usually. Even though Brady's faster, he's better. 266 on the damage at 6 max, etc. So some stats here that'll help you make some decisions. And then when it's something that we don't know what the max will be, like Future Andy, could be very spread out. Most of these ones for higher teams, it's going to be 6 max, going to be 5 max, shit like that. But just a nice little thing to notice here. Something to notice, the clones of Gizmo are still better than Choir Boys, so I think Gizmo is the clear choice here. And then just the amount of damage that Mysterion puts out versus Inuit. Although their DPS are very similar because Inuit hits very, very quickly. And that 1667, isn't even enough to kill Brady, although obviously he'd be getting hit by him too probably. Most likely just gonna get poisoned, just not really worth it. So hopefully you guys grinded out the South Park in the last couple of days or week, I guess. Got a lot of those legend cards, and then got a lot of cheesy poofs, and got either Cyborg Tower or not Bradley, what's his name? Alchemist, Scott Malkinson. It'll be interesting to see. We're definitely going to see more Cyborg Towers, which is unfortunate because it's a broken card right now. But we'll see if we also see more not Bradleys. God damn it! I always think that's a different Bradley because he's kind of got a similar feel to a Bradley card. But no, the Alchemist, we'll see if he gets played more. The Alchemist is a very cool card in my opinion. 3 cost for how hard he hits and the potential like AoE damage and stuff like that. It's a very cool card. I think it's akin to Ned, where he's very squishy, but he can just be super impactful if you take care of him. So I like that as a unit, but I went for the towers on my main account. I got level 5 Cyborg Tower. So that'll be impactful for some decks. And I actually haven't really done any of the other shops, so if you want to check that out, we'll be doing that live on stream tonight. Twitch.tv/Glanzern, links in the description. I'm sure you guys are already aware, but make sure you check me out. And if you haven't subscribed already on YouTube, I'd really appreciate it if you did. We are so close to our goal of 1,000, and when we get to 1,000, we're going to do a giveaway for a nice South Park Phone Destroyer official Red Links t-shirt. One of a kind. There's only probably 100 people in the world that have these t-shirts, so make sure you get a chance at that by subscribing if you haven't already, because you'll have to be a subscriber to win, and we need about 60 more. So if everybody who hasn't subscribed that's watching right now subscribes, I bet you we can get to that goal. So we will see you guys later. Be on the lookout for some Team Wars videos coming out, as well as some new game play videos for some other games. If you want a game that, if you're thinking South Park's going to die, you want another game to take up your time because you don't want to spend so much time on South Park, I got a couple of them. One I'm a content creator for. We'll start getting those out. We got giveaways for those. So be on the lookout for that and a new game to play with us. And we will see you guys on the next one. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye.